Chapter 2452, The Reborn One. The ancient progenitor of the dragon clan was none other than Fushi, who had lived for over 200 million years. He was the very being who had once created the human civilization of Huashu Kingdom. Fortunately, Zhang Yi and Yang Xinxin were well-traveled and experienced, otherwise, they would have been utterly terrified. Fushi spoke, "Among my generation of dragons, I was the weakest. I merely lived longer than the rest. After surviving the calamities of the previous era, I took on the duties of an angel due to my longevity, nurturing the growth of your lineage through 6 generations of humanity. Oh, and my wife, Nuwa. Do you know that this very land you stand upon was once created by me and my sister? The humans you speak of were nurtured by us as we guided the tribes of this land." Fushi's voice echoed slowly, as if carried from the depths of antiquity. "I am Fushi, she is Nuwa. What you know is that we bestowed life and wisdom upon humanity." Zhang Yi and his companions were overcome with emotion. Beyond their astonishment, an indescribable sense of reverence welled up within them. To the people of Huashu civilization, the name Fushi was the myth, ancestor, and the very foundation of their historical river. The very origin of the name Huashu traces back to Fushi. And now, this legendary figure from myth stood before them in person. Then, is Nuwa still with us? Zhang Yi couldn't help but ask. Fushi shook his head. "Immortality is my power, but she has passed away in the course of time." Yang Xinxin murmured softly, "Fushi, father, Nuwa, mother." When humanity first learned to speak, these were the names they called. Thus, these 2 names became synonymous with nurturing our growth. Zhang Yi and the others fell silent, their eyes filled with awe and reverence. It turned out the Dragon Clan wasn't merely ancient, they were directly intertwined with humanity's very origin. Fushi had lived for 200 million years, his very existence was a legend. "Our existence, Nuwa's and mine, has long transcended ordinary life," Fushi spoke softly. "Through our connection to this land, we sustain immortal lives, guarding this realm. I know your arrival today seeks not only aid, but also to uncover more secrets of this world." Zhang Yi drew a deep breath, his heart filled with awe and curiosity. "We seek the Dragon Clan's aid to survive the future calamities. Allow me to address you as ancestor. I understand the Dragon Clan has fulfilled its mission of nurturing humanity. But please, do not abandon us. Look, we are growing at an astonishing pace. The Dragon Clan's assistance will not be in vain. When peril strikes, we shall stand resolutely by your side. Surely you wouldn't wish for the race you nurtured to vanish." Zhang Yi played both the emotional and pragmatic cards. Even raising kittens or puppies fosters affection. Judging by the Dragon Clan's past aid, this Fushi clan undoubtedly held deep, unbreakable bonds with humanity. No wonder the later-born White Dragon, despite his hostility toward humans, still came to aid them during the Tianhai City battle. While this bond still existed, Zhang Yi wouldn't hesitate to cling to their coattails, even if it meant being shamelessly persistent. Moreover, Zhang Yi had brought Yang Xinxin personally to prove they could grow into powerful mutants. The Drucker would eventually emerge, and the Dragon Clan would become their prey. Every additional ally was invaluable. Fushi's gaze fixed on Zhang Yi. After a long moment, he spoke slowly, "The Dragon Clan rarely engages with the outside world. Your arrival is fate's design. I see your future, I see your destinies intertwining with ours." Under Fushi's profound gaze, Zhang Yi and Yang Xinxin felt an inexplicable unease. It was as if every aspect of themselves lay utterly exposed, with nowhere to hide. Fushi's eyes seemed to pierce through their very souls, peering deeply into their past, present, and even their future. Zhang Yi felt he could conceal nothing. This intense pressure made him want to confess everything. Fushi's lips curved slightly, as if sensing their emotions. He spoke slowly, "Your talents are truly extraordinary. In you, I see a most intriguing trajectory of destiny." His words were calm and profound, carrying a wisdom that transcended time and space, making them impossible to resist. Zhang Yi's heart stirred, his eyes flickering as if deep in thought. "Lord Fushi, are you saying you've discerned something?" He felt uneasy, yet an intuition told him his secrets might already be laid bare before Fuxi. His greatest secret. Fuxi showed no urgency in responding, merely offering a faint smile. Fear not. Though the course of destiny is predetermined in the unseen, each soul retains the right to choose their own path. His gaze was deep and distant, as if everything had already been clearly judged within his heart. Zhang Yi took a deep breath and finally resolved to speak plainly to the ancestor of humanity before him, revealing his greatest secret. Ancestor Fuxi, there is something I must tell you. I am, in fact, a man reborn after death. He no longer concealed it, laying bare his secret outright. Why had he been reborn? He had always believed it was due to his supernatural abilities, but such powers were bizarre and unpredictable, their principles beyond anyone's comprehension. Yet rebirth meant reversing the entire universe's timeline or traversing into a parallel world. Zhang Yi occasionally found himself puzzled by it. By revealing his secret before this immortal, all-knowing figure, Zhang Yi hoped to find an answer from him. Guan Longyue's eyes flickered. She studied Zhang Yi intently, yet with Fuxi's identity as a cushion, she seemed capable of accepting many implausible things. As for Yang Xinxin, she merely lifted the corners of her mouth, appearing utterly unsurprised. Whether Zhang Yi was a reborn being or not, what did it matter? Given his numerous anomalies since the apocalypse, being a reborn soul was the most logical explanation. This was something Yang Xinxin had long considered. She hadn't detected any ability to foresee the distant future in Zhang Yi. Therefore, everything that happened in Yuelu neighborhood, along with the entire South Huaxu warehouse's supplies, could only be explained by the reborn soul theory. Fuxi showed no trace of surprise, not even a flicker in his gaze. He smiled faintly. A reborn being? In the Great Mutation era, anything is possible. Time, for high-dimensional life forms, is merely a progress bar they can manipulate at will. His voice carried an unfathomable calm, as if he had weathered countless eons of change and remained unmoved by anything. Chapter 2453, The Reborn 2. Zhang Yi couldn't help but feel shaken. Fuxi's words made him realize that what he had considered rebirth might not be anything special. This ancient being, having traversed endless ages, had long since developed a completely different understanding of time. He lowered his head, trying to digest this information. Then, Zhang Yi continued recounting his experiences on the moon. He detailed his confrontation with Samuel, the history of the Lunar Empire, and the ominous signs of the inescapable cataclysm. He shared what he had witnessed on the moon, hoping Fuxi might offer guidance to help them confront the impending disaster. After listening, Fuxi maintained his characteristic composure. No need to rush. Just speak slowly, he said. My time is far longer than yours. Why rush? I have all the time and patience in the world. Whatever you wish to share, I am willing to listen. His voice carried the whisper of ages, imbued with profound wisdom. Zhang Yi and Yang Xinxin exchanged a glance, feeling an inexplicable wave of comfort wash over them. Fuxi's reaction was not the indifference they had anticipated, but rather one filled with understanding and tolerance. Zhang Yi continued detailing his lunar expedition, recounting his interactions with the lunar elite, Samuel's true intentions, and their arduous struggle for survival in this perilous universe. He proposed that the Dragon Clan, as humanity's angelic race, might offer guidance and aid during the impending cataclysm. Yet, just as Zhang Yi awaited Fuxi's response, White Dragon Yuan Mo spoke coldly, his voice carrying an inhuman chill. Ancestor, there's no need to concern yourself with these humans. They are but transient beings. We of the Dragon Clan are not gods, we cannot alter the laws of the universe. Zhang Yi's heart tightened, a flicker of anxiety stirring within him. He understood the Dragon Clan's detachment wasn't without reason. After all, having existed for millions of years, they saw the universe's cruelty and ruthlessness more clearly than any human. Yet, he refused to accept that his fate and his friends would be cast aside so easily. He knew all too well that without the Dragon Clan's aid, they faced immense peril. Unexpectedly, Fuxi showed no anger, seemingly unaffected. He turned slowly toward Zhang Yi, a gentle light flickering in his eyes. In both of you, I see a most intriguing future. He spoke quietly. You are not merely outliers among humans, but pivotal figures in the coming battle of destiny. Perhaps it is precisely you who can bring new hope to this world. Zhang Yi's heart trembled. Fu Shi's words struck him like a revelation, as if this destiny-bound mission had truly been predestined for them. A surge of resolve filled his heart. Though the path ahead remained shrouded in uncertainty, he knew he could not retreat. Fu Shi continued, therefore, I agree to aid you. That you have reached this point indicates your destinies are deeply intertwined with the Dragon Clan. We can guide your path, but your own strength will be the key to your success. White Dragon Yuan Mo remained expressionless, yet Zhang Yi knew Fu Shi's decision was final. Perhaps the Dragon Clan would not intervene too deeply, but at least they had offered humanity a chance. Fu Shi paused in silence before finally speaking, go forth. Carry your destiny into the future. Guided by Fu Shi, Zhang Yi, Yang Xinxin, and Guan Longyue felt a surge of power infuse them, as if the entire history and wisdom of the Dragon Clan were bolstering their resolve. Fu Shi's voice echoed within them, carrying boundless strength and profound hope. Zhang Yi, Yang Xinxin, and Guan Longyue left the cave where Fu Shi resided, traversing the mist-shrouded mountaintop with complex yet joyful hearts. Their recent conversation with Fu Shi, the ancient ancestor of the Dragon Clan, had profoundly shaken them. Especially his mention of destiny and the trajectory of the future seemed to foretell an inextricable bond between their own fate and that of the Dragon Clan. Yet, their hearts did not grow complacent because of Fu Shi's promise. Precisely because they had received a promise and glimpsed hope, the sense of responsibility within them grew even deeper. Loyalty and gratitude are two-way streets. Unilateral assistance only depletes that bond. Thus, before Zhang Yi and his companions could offer sustained aid to the Dragon Clan in the distant future, they likely had only one chance to request their help. After Zhang Yi and the others departed, White Dragon Yuan Mo remained standing there, gazing coldly in the direction the 3 sixth-generation members had left. Fu Shi remained seated in the vast hot spring, comfortably basking in the medicinal waters nourishing his body, a lazy, contented smile playing on his face. I don't understand. At that moment, Yuan Mo turned to Fu Shi, a hint of confusion on his face, his voice low. Ancestor, why involve ourselves with humans? They are far too weak. When calamity strikes, they'll struggle even to protect themselves. How can we spare the energy to concern ourselves with them? Why invite this trouble upon ourselves? With outsiders present, Yuan Mo had maintained a measure of respect toward Fu Shi. But the moment they were gone, he immediately began questioning. His nature had always been like this, focusing on the matter rather than the person. Even when facing Fu Shi, he would argue his point with reason. Fu Shi's gaze remained deep and distant. He turned slightly, his massive dragon head lowering to look at Yuan Mo, his voice low and steady. Do you think I chose to help them merely out of sentiment? Yuan Mo furrowed his brow. Is that not the case? Of course not. Fu Shi replied. I have glimpsed the trajectory of destiny. In the distant future, humanity will likewise aid the Dragon Clan. Fate is unpredictable, and the Dragon Clan cannot guarantee eternal tranquility. Securing a capable ally would certainly not be detrimental to us. You see, they may not be strong enough now, but they harbor immense potential. Moreover, they are the crucial link in the impending catastrophe this world faces. Yuan Mo's brow furrowed deeply, clearly not fully grasping Fu Shi's meaning. He asked slowly, are you not an eternal being? As long as you exist, the Dragon Clan will never perish. Why rely on humans? However powerful they become, they could never surpass you, could they? Fu Shi's gaze grew even more profound, as if gazing through the river of time into the distant future. He spoke softly, this is precisely the trajectory of destiny. The Creator does not permit eternal existence. Whether it be the Drucker, the Yihen tribe, or our own intelligent descendants, all will face the inevitable trials of fate. Eternal existence will be devoured by time. All things will ultimately perish. Yet in those two young ones, Zhang Yi and Yang Xinxin, I see the possibility of altering this trajectory. Yuan Mo froze, clearly unprepared for Fushi's response. Suddenly, something struck him. His pupils contracted sharply as he stared at this eternal ancestor, his body trembling with fear. Chapter 2454, The Reborn 3. White Dragon gazed solemnly at the azure dragon within the hot spring. After a moment of silence, he spoke slowly. Ancestor, since you can see the course of destiny, what future do you foresee? Fushi's ancient dragon pupil flickered faintly, as if countless stars swirled within it. His voice, laden with the weight of time and profound meaning, drifted slowly through the mist rising from the hot spring. What I see is the end of the Dragon Clan. The end? White Dragon's brows furrowed, a hint of unease in his voice. Fushi gently closed his eyes, as if recalling a moment from billions of years ago. His voice was deep and distant. Yes, the end. Our Dragon Clan will face extinction. The very air within the caverns seemed to freeze in that instant, thick and heavy. Black Dragon Yuan Jing and White Dragon Yuan Mo simultaneously lifted their heads, their pupils sharply contracting, breath nearly halting. Extinction? The Dragon Clan. How could that be possible? White Dragon couldn't help but shout. A unique aura surged from his body, nearly piercing the heavens, but facing Fushi, he ultimately suppressed it. Ancestor, the Dragon Clan once sealed the Drucker divine race. In the physical world, we have never had an equal. No race but the Creator could threaten us. Even those ancient survivors never earned our attention. Then what exactly are you afraid of? At the White Dragon's challenge, Fushi opened his eyes. A faint trace of world weariness and sorrow flickered within them. Yuan Mo, you are too young. You have not witnessed the world's collapse, nor seen the terrifying might of those monstrous Drucker. This universe is not as simple as you perceive. In past eras, the Drucker divine race was not yet as dreadful as they are today. He lifted his head slightly, his voice seeming to traverse eons of time. Before our Dragon Clan came into being, many great races existed in the cosmos. Their power was immense, equal to that of the Drucker. You may think the Drucker are an invincible divine race, but they too were once driven to the brink of extinction in history. White Dragon's heart trembled. Even the Black Dragon involuntarily lifted its head, its expression grave. Fushi continued, take the fourth-generation race, the Arcs. They too were once the most glorious beings in the cosmos. That race was specifically created by Kagago to annihilate the Drucker. The Drucker gods back then weren't as powerful as they are now. The Arcs held them down for a full billion years. The entire world was engulfed by the flames of that war. Continents were torn apart, countless nations reduced to dust. The Arcs nearly succeeded in wiping out the Drucker entirely, yet in the end, they still failed. Ripples gently rippled across the hot spring waters, reflecting Fushi's immense and ancient form. The Drucker possessed vitality so formidable it bordered on immortality. They could sustain themselves in any form, even transforming into pure energy to parasitize within matter, awaiting rebirth. The Arcs were defeated. Though they possessed technology and combat prowess rivaling the Ehen tribe, along with brute force that was close to the Druckers, they ultimately met their downfall. White Dragon's gaze shifted from shock to solemnity as he asked in a hoarse voice, so? Even the mighty Arcs perished? Yes. Fushi's voice carried an endless sorrow. The Arcs era came to an end. Yet the Druckers grew and evolved through the long ages. They devoured energy, devoured civilizations, devoured destiny itself. No matter how many times they were sealed, they would return. No matter how many times they were suppressed, they would reappear. And each time they survived the brink of extinction, they grew stronger. That is their true horror. Then what of the Dragon Clan? White Dragon's voice grew low, tinged with suppressed dread. Did our Dragon Clan not personally seal them away in the ancient war? Why should we perish? Even reborn, the Drucker cannot fully awaken within the physical world. Fushi sighed slowly, his voice seeming to echo from the farthest reaches of time and space. Yuan Mo, the Drucker aren't living beings. They're the universe's counterlaw, a bug. They don't belong to existence, they belong to inevitability. As long as the material world endures, they can never truly perish. They're like the shadow of the cosmos, incorruptible. Zhang Yi once used a metaphor to describe the Drucker. If the universe were a living organism, then sentient races would be like cellular metabolism. The Drucker, however, are cancer cells. Cancer cells that refuse to die by natural means, choosing instead to survive indefinitely, even if it means destroying the creator in the process. As for the Dragon Clan, we are merely an orderly race created by the creator to maintain equilibrium. Order is finite, chaos is eternal. The Drucker who have reappeared before us in this era are more powerful than those we sealed away 200 million years ago, sacrificing everything to do so. Thus, our mission has ended. That is why I place my hopes upon the sixth generation of humanity. I seek within them the means to break this stalemate. The white dragon's clear eyes flickered violently as his pale fists clenched involuntarily. He could not refute this, for he knew Fushi never lied. This ancient ancestor, who had existed for 200 million years, had never spoken falsely. Yet this conclusion struck him like a thunderbolt, crashing violently into his heart. Then, is the fate of the Dragon Clan truly unchangeable? Fushi's gaze slowly shifted toward the cave entrance, the direction Zhang Yi, Yang Xinxin, and the others had departed. Perhaps there is still a chance. The white dragon froze, following Fushi's gaze. His eyes narrowed slightly. Them? Fushi nodded, his voice deep yet tinged with a faint glimmer of light. They exist beyond the bounds of destiny. First, they underwent the baptism of the Sea of Spirit of the Yihen tribe, a force closest to the origin of creation for advanced sentient beings. This has already elevated their souls beyond the realm of ordinary sixth-generation humans. Second, the birth of the sixth generation of humanity was originally designed by the creator, Kagago, as a countermeasure against the Drucker. You call them humans, but in the higher language of the cosmos, they may also be known as correctors of the laws of the universe. Immune cells. That was essentially the meaning. Kagago needed to pay for his mistake of creating the Druckers. And high-dimensional life forms couldn't directly descend upon this world, they could only attempt to create one entirely new race after another. Until the Drucker were utterly annihilated.